So today we have to discuss the mechanical power or simply power. In previous case, energy means energy possessed by the body by virtue of its motion, which is called the kinetic energy. Energy possessed by the body because of its position or because of its shape, that is called the potential energy. Or in general, suppose if the one person doing the work from the morning to evening, then we can say, oh, he is having more energy. That means energy is the measure of work done. Energy is the measure of work done. But here, power is the rate of doing work done. That means how fast he is doing the same work. How fast he is doing the same work. In case of work done, there is no consideration of the time. But he is completed the work or not. That's all. That means that gives only the energy means that gives only the measure of work. How work he has done. That is nothing but energy. Here, but power means the rate of doing work is called power. That means for each and every second, what is the amount of work done? That is called power. So rate of doing work is called power. Rate of doing work. Rate of doing work is called power. So power is equal to rate of doing work. Therefore, power is equal to rate of doing work means in 3 seconds the amount of work done is say W. Then in a second, what is the work done means W by T we can write now. So no doubt work is a scalar quantity, time is a scalar quantity. That's why power is also a scalar quantity. So what is the SI unit? What is the SI unit? Here SI unit of power means formula is work by time. In a system, work is measured in joule by time means second. Joule per second. Or this joule per second is also called as watt. As what is the scientist name? If you want to write this watt with abbreviation, then we have to write first letter in capitals. Capital W. It is the SI unit of the this power. Okay. Of course, in CS system, erg per second. In CS system, it is measured in erg because work is measured in erg. Work is measured in erg by time is in seconds. So erg per second. Erg per second. But the practical here, practically, the power is not measured in generally in case of pumping motor, water motor, etc. They consume more power. They consume more power. That's why. Okay. So here the practical units of power, that is the horsepower, HP. Here we are having pumping motors as 1 HP power, 0.5 HP motor, like that. Okay, that's why practical unit of power. Practical unit of power. Practical units. Practical units of power. Horsepower. 1 horsepower. Horsepower means it is represented with capital H, capital P, horsepower. 1 horsepower is equal to how many watts? 1 horsepower is equal to how many watt? 1 horsepower is equal to how many watt? 746 watt now. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. Okay. Suppose here megawatt is there. 1 megawatt. That means 1 mega means symbol capital M, watt W. Megawatt. That is equal to mega means 10 to the power of 6. 10 to the power of 6 watt. 1 gigawatt. 1 gigawatt. That is represented with capital G W. 1 giga means 10 to the power of 9 watt. Capital W. So in this way, these are the practical units of the power. Okay, now, so we have to discuss some applications or some important note points. First one, suppose a body is lifted. Here, one body is lifted from the surface of the earth, having mass m, up to a height h, in a time t seconds. Then what is the power required? Power required by the motor to lift the body of mass m by the motor up to a height h in a time 3 seconds. What is the power of the motor required? Power of the motor required. Power is equal to work by time. Work by time. That is equal to, you see, just we have to lift the body to this position. That's all. That means here velocity is 0, here velocity is also 0. Slowly it is displaced. Slowly the body is displaced in vertical direction up to a height h. What is the work? What is the power of the motor required? That means power of the motor required is called work by time. What is the work to be done to lift the body up to a height h slowly or with constant speed? In such case, work done is equal to mgh. No, of course that is equal to potential energy acquired by time taken t. This is the power of the motor required. Okay, next, suppose the body is lifted from the height h. The body is lifted from the ground up to a height h, up to a height h, up to a height h, so that at this position its velocity is v. Here velocity is 0. Here the body is lifted up to a height h, so that it acquires some velocity, just like when water is lifting from the ground up to a height, that means onto the terrace of the building, so that the water ejects out through the pipe with a velocity v. That is the case. The water lifted from the, suppose you take that case only. You consider that case only. You consider that case only. You see, at certain depth from the surface of the earth, here water is there. Water is there. Here by means of here water is there at a depth small h, say. At a depth small h, h1. So here the pipe is arranged up to depth h1 from the surface of the earth inside the water, and above the surface of the earth to the top of the building. Suppose the pipe is up to a height of say h2. Suppose here tank is there, water tank is there. So the pipe has to eject the water through the pipe, so that the tank will be filled. The tank is at a height h2 from the surface of the earth, and the water is at a depth. That means this will be well also. Water is at a depth h1. So by using the motor, the water is lifted from the well, or from the water is lifted from a depth h1 up to a height h2 to fill the tank, so that the water ejects with a velocity say v. Water ejects with a velocity v. Suppose in a time t seconds, m mass of the water is lifted and it ejects and it enter into the tank here. Suppose m mass of water is lifted and the m mass of water ejects out from the pipe in a time t seconds with a velocity v. So in order to eject the water through this pipe with a velocity v, first we have to lift the m mass of the water up to the height h1 plus h2. No, that's why what is the amount of work to be done to lift the water up to a height h1 plus h2? ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ దాకా వాటర్ పైకి లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. So water is to be lifted from this h1 depth up to a height h2, means total height to be lifted. Total height up to which water is to be lifted is h1 plus h2. No, so what is the total work done? Total work done to lift the water is mg h1 plus h2. This is the total work done to lift the water. Total work. Actually, what is the power of the motor? They ask, you know. Power of the motor is general formula work by time only. And what is the work to be done to lift the water upwards up to a height h1 plus h2? ఇక్కడ నుంచి వాటర్ ఇక్కడ దాకా లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. ట్యాంక్ కింద హైట్ లో ఉంది కాబట్టి సర్ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎర్త్ నుంచి డెప్త్ ఏమో ఇది, ఇక్కడ నుంచి మళ్ళీ ఇక్కడ లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. అంటే టోటల్ గా h1 ప్లస్ h2 m మాస్ వాటర్ లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. అప్పుడు వర్క్ డన్ ఎంత అంటే mg into h1 plus h2. This is the work done just to lift the water against the gravity. After it is lifted up to a height h, up to a height h1 plus h2, the water ejects with a velocity. That means the water when ejects out from the pipe, it ejects with a velocity v. That's why they gain the kinetic energy also. That kinetic energy is also imparted by, that kinetic energy is also given by the motor only. No? That's why what is the amount of work to be done to give or to impart, to provide kinetic energy half mv square? That is equal to half mv square. That is equal to half mv square. Half mv square is the additional amount of work to be done on the water to eject out with a kinetic energy, this one. Next, amount of work to be done to lift the water up to a height from the bottom up to a height h1 plus h2 is equal to this one. So this is the work done to lift the water. It is the work done to give this amount of kinetic energy to the water. It is the total work done in a time 3 seconds. Then what is the power? Means this is the power. So therefore, power is equal to total work done by total time. Total work done by total time. This is the power needed. Okay. Next. Next note point. Third one. Next note point. Here, one man, a man of mass, Kaplan, lifts the a man of mass, Kaplan, lifts the bricks of mass, smaller, up to a height small h. Up to a height small h. What is the efficiency of the man? What is the efficiency of the man? What is the efficiency of the man? What, Karthik? What is your doubt, Karthik? Karthik, what is your doubt? Okay, I will reduce the brightness. Okay. Later I will reduce the brightness, not now. Is it more bright? You remaining people, please respond. Is it more bright to you? Is the board is very bright to you so that you are you unable to see the words? Are you unable to see the letters here? Okay, I will reduce a little bit the brightness. Okay. Okay, right. Okay, right. I will reduce. Later I will reduce. Okay. A man of mass, Kaplan, lifts the bricks of mass, small m, up to a height small h. Up to a height small h. Okay. Then what is the efficiency of the man? Efficiency of man, comma, eta is equal to question mark. What is the efficiency? Efficiency means what is the fraction of work done by the man which is utilized to do some output work? What fraction of work is utilized by us? Of course, you may do more work, but what is the useful work? The fraction of work utilized is called the efficiency of the man. The fraction of work, fraction of the work utilized or fraction of work done by the man which is utilized is called the efficiency of that man. Suppose in order to lift the here up to a height h, okay. Suppose the man lifts the bricks of mass m up to a height h. Man lifts the
bricks of mass small m. Total mass of all the bricks is small m up to a height h. In order to lift the bricks, the man has to lift the mass of the man also, no? Mass of the man also, no? Efficiency. Efficiency is the fraction of the amount of work done or fraction of power utilized. That is called the efficiency. Fraction of the work done by the man or fraction of work done by the motor is called efficiency. That means what work the work useful by total work to be done. General formula for efficiency is work useful work by total work done. Useful work by total work done, that is the efficiency of the not only man, engine also. So efficiency means work utilized by total work done, or power utilized by total power consumed, total power used, or total power consumed. This is the general formula for efficiency. Percentage of efficiency means into 100 we have to write. So in this case, what is the efficiency of the man? You see, actually to lift the m mass of the bricks by the man up to a height h, what is the work to be done? M mass of the bricks ni h height lift cheyali. What is the work to be done? mgh work is to be done. mgh work is to be done. Okay, that actually to lift the m mass of the bricks to a height h, mgh work is there. But in order to lift the m mass of the bricks to a height h, the man has to lift his mass also, no? అతని మాస్ కూడా పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలిగా. ఆ బ్రిక్స్ పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలంటే అతని మాస్ కూడా పైకి లిఫ్ట్ చేయాలి. అంటే టోటల్ మాస్ టు బి లిఫ్టెడ్ బై ద మ్యాన్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు స్మాల్ m ప్లస్ క్యాపిటల్ M. స్మాల్ m మాస్ బ్రిక్స్ పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలంటే అతని మాస్ కూడా పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలి కాబట్టి టోటల్ వర్క్ టు బి డన్ బై ద మ్యాన్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు m ప్లస్ m, అంటే మాస్ ఆఫ్ ది మ్యాన్ plus mass of the bricks into g into h. It is the total work to be done by the man to lift the bricks. m mass kala bricks ni పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలంటే h height కి అతని మాస్ కూడా పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలి కాబట్టి total mass is to be lifted is equal to m plus m into g into h. That is the total work to be done. కానీ మన దీంట్లో ఉపయోగపడే వర్క్ ఏది? ఎంత మాస్ కల బ్రిక్స్ ని పైకి తీసుకొచ్చాడో అదేగా మనకు కావాల్సింది. అంటే మా అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వర్క్ టు బి డన్ to lift the m mass of bricks is equal to mg into h, no? ఇది work utilized. Total work done is this one. మన ఇప్పుడు ఒక మ్యాన్ జస్ట్ అతని మ్యాన్ చాలా మాస్ చాలా ఎక్కువగా ఉంది, అతను ఒక 2 బ్రిక్స్ నే పైకి తీసుకెళ్తున్నారు. 2 బ్రిక్స్ ని పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళడానికి అతని వెయిట్ కూడా పైకి తీసుకెళ్ళాలి కాబట్టి he is doing more work, he is putting more efforts because he has doing more work. Just he will do more work to lift his mass only, his mass only. ఇంకా ఒక 2-3 బ్రిక్స్ పైకి తీసుకెళ్తున్నాడు. అప్పుడు మనం చూడడానికి మనకి ఎట్లా ఉంటుందంటే ఏంటో 2-3 బ్రిక్స్ తీసుకెళ్తున్నాడు పైకి, వర్క్ చేయవా ఏంటి అసలు అంటాం మనం జనరల్లీ. And you do more work and you bring lift more bricks in such a way we do. But as his mass is more work is to be done just to lift the 3 bricks only. But useful work is only he lifted 3 bricks. That is only the work done to lift the 3 bricks only is the work useful. But remaining work is totally utilized to lift himself. That is not considered, taken into account by the other person. That's why work utilized is equal to mgh only. But total work to be done is equal to this one. This is called efficiency. So total work done is this one. Work useful is this one. So this is the fraction of work utilized. It is the fraction of work utilized. Fraction of total work utilized. Total work utilized. Okay. Therefore, GH cancel. So eta is equal to small m by capital M plus small m. So what is the percentage of efficiency? Percentage of efficiency. Percentage of efficiency means eta into 100. That is equal to small m by capital M plus small m into 100. That is the answer. In this way you have to do. Okay. Next. Next, fourth note point. Fourth note point. A machine gun fires machine gun fires n number of bullets. Machine gun fires n number of bullets per second. N number of bullets in a time t seconds. You write. N number of bullets are fired. N bullets are fired in a time t. Mass of each bullet is smaller. Mass of each bullet is smaller. Okay. Then what is the a machine gun fires n bullets? A machine gun fires n bullets in a time t. Mass of each bullet is m and velocity with which each bullet comes out. Velocity with which each bullet comes out. A machine gun fires n bullets with a velocity v and having mass of each bullet smaller in a time t, comma, then efficiency. Then what is the power of the machine gun? Then the power of the machine gun is how much? Then the power of the machine gun is dash. Power of the machine gun is equal to work by time. That is general formula. Here, initially the bullets are at rest inside the machine gun. Inside the machine gun, the bullets are at rest. So because of the machine gun fires n bullets with a velocity v. Initially, the bullets are at rest inside the gun. That's why initial kinetic energy of each bullet is 0. Initial kinetic energy of each bullet is 0. So actually, total work done means final kinetic energy minus initial. According to work energy theorem, the work done by the machine gun on the bullets is equal to final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy by time taken t. This is equal to, you see, here final kinetic energy means whenever the gun is fired, whenever the bullets are fired with a velocity v, then kinetic energy with which each bullet comes out is half m v square. As n bullets comes out in a time t seconds, then the kinetic energy of n bullets which comes out is equal to small n, say, into small n. So n bullets are fired into small n. It is the kinetic energy of all bullets which ejects out in a time t seconds minus initial kinetic energy 0 by time taken t. Therefore, power of the machine gun is equal to n into half mv square by n into half mv square by t. Sometimes they may ask, if the power of the machine gun is so and so, mass of each bullet is so and so, and velocity with which each bullet ejects, that will be given. Then number of bullets fired per second is how much? In 3 seconds, n bullets are fired. Then number of bullets fired per second means n by t only now, where n by t is number of bullets fired per second. Number of bullets fired per second. So in this way also they may ask. Here this formula is also very, very important. Power of the any engine is equal to work done by time, but according to work energy theorem, that is equal to change in kinetic energy by time. Okay, next. So in order to find the power, in case of any case, find the power, work we have to find work by time is the power. Okay. Sometimes it will be given
one. If efficiency of machine gun, if efficiency of machine gun is 80%, which efficiency of machine gun is 80%, then number of bullets fired per second is dash. Number of bullets fired per second is dash. Number, suppose in t seconds if n bullets are fired, n by t is the number of bullets fired per second. That is equal to question mark. Already we know if we here efficiency of the machine gun. Efficiency of the machine gun means, you see, the total power of the machine gun is say P. Then efficiency 80% means 80% of the power only utilized to fire the bullets. Efficiency of the machine gun 80% and like total power. Suppose the total power of the machine gun is P. Total power of gun is equal to capital P. Total power capital P and efficiency of the machine gun 80% and 80% of power of the machine gun only utilized to fire the bullets. Remaining power is lost to overcome the friction while firing, etc. That's why if the efficiency of the machine gun is 80%, means 80% of power only utilized to do action work. That's why in the total power, 80% of the power consumed is utilized. So power utilized is 80%, which is equal to useful work by time. Is equal to as n bullets are fired, then n into work done is equal to n into half mv square minus 0. No? If each bullet fired with a velocity v, then total work done in firing n bullets in a time t seconds is equal to n into half mv square minus initial kinetic is 0. That is the total work done by time taken t. Here therefore 80p by 100 is equal to n by t into half mv square. Here they ask n by t. We can calculate now because p will be given. Total power of the machine gun will be given. So by using this formula we can calculate. Okay. Next. We can write power is equal to work by time. We know work means force vector dot displacement vector by time. Here we can write f by t or we can write s by t. When you write s by t, f bar dot s by s displacement by time. F bar dot velocity we can write now. F bar dot velocity. Okay, that's why power is equal to force vector dot velocity vector or work by time or f bar dot s bar by t. So based on the given information, you can use any of the formulas. Okay. So here, seventh one, suppose a body or a vehicle travel with a constant velocity on the rough surface having position of friction mu. What is the power of the engine? Here a body of mass or the vehicle of mass moving with a constant velocity on the rough horizontal road, it is having coefficient of friction between the body and the road is mu. Okay, then what is the power of the engine? Power of the engine. Power of the engine is equal to how much? As the vehicle travel with a constant speed in this direction, definitely the power exerted by the engine in forward to move in forward direction, that is the F. And at the same time, in between the vehicle, in between the block or vehicle and the road, the friction force acts in backward direction. Even then, as the vehicle travel with a constant velocity, means definitely the engine applies the force which is equal to friction force on the vehicle. That's why force applied by the engine is equal to friction force. Force applied by the engine is equal to frictional force. Okay, with this applied force, as the vehicle travel with a velocity in the same direction, so power of the engine, power P is equal to applied force into velocity. that is equal to applied force is equal to friction only. Friction into velocity. Friction means as it is moving on the horizontal surface, friction force is equal to mu into normal reaction mg only, no, into v. So this is the power of the engine. So power of the engine is equal to this one. P is equal to F into V. That is equal to mu mg into V. Sometimes by engine, the vehicle travel with certain acceleration. The vehicle travel with a certain acceleration. Okay, then what is the power of the engine? They may ask. What is the power of the engine at any instant of time? They may ask. Seventh one. Here same. Vehicle travel with certain acceleration forward direction. Friction as usual acts in opposite direction. Okay, actually, whenever the vehicle travel in forward direction with certain acceleration, definitely vehicle exerts the force on the engine in forward direction, which is equal to say F. Okay, at the instant whenever the vehicle travel with velocity say V, at that time what is the power of the engine? So that is called instantaneous power. Power consumed by the engine at any instant of time. The power given supplied by the engine at any instant of time, that is called instantaneous power. So instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. Instantaneous power. So at the instant whenever the vehicle travel with a velocity, at that time what is the instantaneous power consumed by the engine or utilized by the engine? So instantaneous power, P is equal to F bar dot V bar means Fp, because force in this force applied by the vehicle is in this direction and velocity also in the same direction, F into V. But F is not given. This F is not given. Friction is given, acceleration is given. That's all. As the vehicle travels with an acceleration A, because of the applied force by the engine on the vehicle is F, then net force acts on the engine is equal to net force acts on the vehicle is equal to force applied by the engine on the vehicle in forward direction minus friction force. Minus friction force means kinetic friction here, as the vehicle is in motion. F minus Fk is equal to mass of the vehicle into acceleration. From this, force applied is equal to Fk plus ma. No? Therefore, instantaneous power is equal to F into V. F is not given. Fk means Fk plus ma. This is capital F into V. Suppose if Fk is also not given, Fk is equal to, we can write mu into normal reaction. No? That's why you can write mu into normal reaction, mu mg. We can write. So this is the instantaneous power utilized by the engine to move with an acceleration A. At the instant whenever its velocity is V. Okay. Nikhil, what is our doubt? Nikhil. Fk means it is the kinetic friction. No? Whenever the vehicle travel in forward direction, kinetic friction acts on the kinetic friction between the block and the horizontal surface acts in opposite direction. No? That is the kinetic friction. Okay, Naga Venkata Sai. What is your doubt? F minus Fk. Okay, here the engine inside the vehicle applies the force on the vehicle in forward direction. The engine inside the vehicle applies the force on the vehicle in forward direction. Fk is as usual in backward direction. So net force acts on the vehicle in forward direction is equal to how much? F minus Fk now. Okay, so this is the instantaneous power utilized by the engine. Next, eighth one. Suppose there is a conveyor belt. Conveyor belt. Suppose the conveyor belt moving with a speed, constant speed v. The mass fall on the conveyor belt. In big industries, this type of conveyor belts are there. In airports, to carry the luggage, our luggage from one place to another place, here these conveyor belts are used. Okay. You reduce your brightness in your mobile. Sahid, you reduce your brightness in your mobile so that you can see, I think. Sahid, you reduce your brightness in your mobile so that you can see. Okay. Sahid, have you done? Now is it okay? Sahid. Now are you able to see the board? Okay, all of you, if you feel the brightness is there, more brightness is there, you reduce the brightness in our mobile so that quality of the letters will be good. In your mobile, zero brightness means you are unable to see the words also. Zero brightness means. If letters are not clear means here there is no reflection of the light here. On the board there is no reflection of the light. Light reflection, no reflection is there. Reflection is above this only, not below. Below this there is no reflection. Okay. Ganesh Kumar, if you feel more brightness, you reduce your brightness in your mobile so that you can see the letters. Because in order to upload all these topics in YouTube, definitely brightness is like this. So according to your visibility, you change your brightness in your mobile so that you can see clearly. Okay. Right. Now you say this is the conveyor belt. Conveyor belt moving with constant speed v. Suppose here the mass fall on the conveyor belt in cement industries, etc. Cement bags fall on the conveyor belt. Those cement bags carry from one place to another place. Okay. So in such case, as long as the number of cement bags fall on the conveyor belt, the mass on the conveyor belt increases. Whenever mass on the conveyor belt increases, then the speed of the conveyor belt decreases. So in order to move with constant velocity or constant speed, the engine has to apply some force. Already I said. According to Newton's second law of motion, rate of change in the moment of any body is the force. So moment of the body means d by dt of mass into velocity. Here the conveyor belt moving with constant speed. That's why v is constant. You write outside. d by dt of m. That means dm by dt. Here, in some cases, whenever the body travels with constant speed, but mass changes with time. In such case, the rate of change in the mass, dm by dt. Here, whenever the mass falls on this conveyor belt at the rate of dm by dt, then the extra force needed by the engine to move the conveyor belt with constant speed is equal to v into dm by dt. And actually, ఈ కన్వేయర్ బెల్ట్ ని ఏ ఇంజిన్ అయితే రొటేట్ చేస్తుందో, ఏ మోటార్ అయితే రొటేట్ చేస్తుందో అది ఎటువంటి ఫోర్స్ ని అప్లై చేయకపోతే, ఎక్స్ట్రా ఫోర్స్ ని అప్లై చేయకపోతే, బికాజ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ మాస్ ద స్పీడ్ డిక్రీస్, బట్ కన్వేయర్ బెల్ట్ కాన్స్టెంట్ స్పీడ్ తో మూవ్ అవ్వాలి. కాబట్టి ద ఇంజిన్ హ్యాస్ టు అప్లై ద extra force on the conveyor belt to move the belt with constant speed. Okay, that's why extra force needed. Extra force needed to move the conveyor belt with constant speed is equal to v into dm by dt, where dm by dt is the rate of fall of mass on the conveyor belt or the rate of increase in the mass on the conveyor belt. Okay, extra power needed is how much? Extra power P is equal to extra force needed into the constant speed with which the conveyor belt is to be traveled, moved. That is v. That is equal to F means v into dm by dt into v. Therefore, extra power needed, extra force needed is this one. Extra power needed is this one. That is equal to v square into dm by dt. This is the extra power needed. It is the extra force needed. Extra force. This is the extra force. Okay. This is extra force. Next, suppose okay. So you see, in case of human body, human heart, in case of human heart, whenever it is just functioning, whenever it is functioning, its volume increase, decrease, volume increase, decrease like this. Its volume increase, decrease, volume increase, decrease like this. For every one stroke, for every one compression of the heart, the volume of the blood pumped out from the heart. అంటే ఈ హ్యూమన్ హార్ట్ ఫంక్షనింగ్ అప్పుడు అది దాన్ని కంప్రెస్ అవటం మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవటం కంప్రెస్ అవటం ఎక్స్పాండ్ అవటం జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దట్ ఫంక్షనింగ్ ఆఫ్ ది హార్ట్, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ది హార్ట్ బీట్, ఫర్ ఎవ్రీ వన్ బీట్ ది వాల్యూమ్ ఆఫ్ ది బ్లడ్ ఈజ్ సర్క్యులేటెడ్ త్రూ ద that heart. The volume of the blood is circulated through the heart at a pressure of P. At a pressure of P. And what is the work done by the heart in pumping the volume of the blood at a pressure P through heart? Human heart. If human heart pumps the volume of blood, the volume of blood at a pressure of P, then work done on blood, work done on blood by heart, because heart is also acts as the pumping machine, blood pumping machine, just like water pumping machine in our house. The heart also acts as the one pumping machine. Okay, so the work done on blood by the heart in pumping blood, comma, W is equal to pressure into volume gives work done. Pressure into volume, suppose this is a volume delta V, so you write delta V. Pressure into volume of the blood pumped or volume of the blood passed through the heart is equal to P into dV. That is the work done. Is it equal to work done or not? You tell me. Pressure into change in volume gives work done or not? You tell me. Pressure means force by area. Force by area into volume means volume. Volume is area of cross section of the tube through which blood is pumped into displacement of the blood, delta S. AA cancel, F into delta S. So because of heart beating, the blood here, the heart pumps the blood with a force by applying the force F through a distance delta S. F into delta S is equal to work done. No? That's why pressure into the volume of the blood pumped, that gives the work done. So what is the power of the heart? What is the power of the heart? Power of heart. Power is equal to work by time. That is equal to P into delta V by T. P into delta V by T. Okay. Suppose sometimes you will be given this delta V is the total volume of the blood pumped to the heart in a time T seconds. Delta V is the where delta V total volume of blood total volume of blood pumped in total volume of blood pumped in 3 seconds. Sometimes it will be given for each stroke of the heart. For each stroke of the heart, small v naught volume of the blood pumped out. In 3 seconds, suppose if the heart beats n times, then what is the power? Means, you will see, for each beat, v naught volume of the blood pumped out. So, for total volume pumped out in 3 seconds is equal to n into v naught we can write now. Because v naught is the volume of the blood pumped out or circulated through the heart for one stroke. In a time 3 seconds, if the heart beats n times, for n beats, what is the total volume of the blood circulated? Means delta v is equal to n into v naught, where n, number of beats of the heart, number of beats of heart, v naught, volume of blood pumped for each beat of the heart, for each beat. So this concept is also important. Once I think in MSET they asked the question. In MSET they asked the question. Remaining people, please respond. Are the letters are clear to you or not? Remaining people, are the letters are clearly visible to you or not? Clearly means not crystal clear. Is it visible or not? That's all. Are you able to understand the letters or not? That's all. Are you able to understand the words or not? That's why I'm asking. Not crystal clear. Is it having crystal clear? Crystal clear. Are you able to say? I'm not asking like that. Is it visible to you or not? Just that is why I'm asking. Okay, most of the students mentioned that it is visible. Of course, no one is having crystal clear. Okay, it is visible. Sriram, you better to adjust your, because yesterday whatever the class for yesterday's class, whatever the adjustments are made, same adjustments. I did not disturb the that webcam. I did not disturb the webcam. The same adjustments are there. Yesterday, how you have seen the board, also you are watching the board like that only. No adjustments are made here. Okay, Sriram. Right. Sorry. Okay. 9th one is what? Just we see one graph, then we go to problems. Tenth one. A body moving along the circular path, one body of mass m moving along the circular path. Suppose this is the center of the circular path. So, a body of mass m moving along the circular path with a moving along the circular path, so that at certain instant of time its speed is v. At certain instant of time its speed is v. Okay. As long as time elapses, the speed changes. Speed increases with time. Speed increases with time. Okay, now okay. So here, at an instant of time t, at an instant of time t, the speed is v. Centripetal acceleration AC is equal to, that means the speed varies with time. At an instant of time t, the speed is v, but when t changes, speed also changes. So the centripetal acceleration acts on the particle moving along the circular path is given by k square r t square. K square r t square, where k is the constant, where it is equation 1, where k is constant. Here the velocity of the particle moving along the circular path varies with time. Here v varies with time. The speed of the particle varies with time t according to the equation like this, so that whenever as the particle moving along the circular path, the centripetal acceleration on the particle, centripetal acceleration, normal acceleration, radial acceleration, all are same. That is equal to this one. Then what is the instantaneous power consumed by the instantaneous power utilized by the particle moving along the circular path is how much? Instantaneous power. Instantaneous power consumed by particle moving along circular path. Moving along circular path. P is equal to question mark. Tell me, is there any power consumed by the particle due to centripetal acceleration? Is there any power consumed by the centripetal acceleration? Whenever the centripetal acceleration is in this direction, centripetal force Fc is equal to m into ac. That is also acts towards the center. Whereas the displacement of the particle or velocity of the particle is along tangential direction. Both are perpendicular. That's why no work is done by the centripetal force on the particle. So, as centripetal force is perpendicular to velocity or displacement s, no work is done. No work is done by Fc. Okay, but as long as time lapses, as long as time changes, centripetal velocity of speed of the particle changes. That's why tangential acceleration is there along tangential direction. Due to tangential acceleration only, some work is done. So, instantaneous acceleration they asked it. Instantaneous acceleration, in order to find them, tangential force you have to find. Tangential force. Tangential force acts on the particle Ft is equal to mass of the particle into tangential acceleration. What is the tangential acceleration? First we have to find. From equation 1, we are given, it was previously given problem. It was previously asked in mains. So, centripetal acceleration AC is equal to k square r t square is given. But as you know, centripetal acceleration is equal to v square by r, no? At an instant of time t, whenever the centripetal acceleration is in AC, at that instant, suppose if the speed of the particle is v, then centripetal acceleration can be written as v square by radius of the circular path is say r, because here it is given r. R is the radius of the circular path only, r radius. Okay, so we can write this as like this now. So from this v square is equal to k square into do cross multiplication, r square t square. R v is equal to k r t we can write now. So at any time t, velocity of the particle or speed of the particle along tangential direction is this one. Therefore, tangential acceleration at is equal to dv by dt. That is equal to d by dt of k r t. If k is constant, r is constant. Even the particle travel along the circular path, radius of the circular path does not change, and k is constant. That's why kr is right outside. Kr into d by dt of t, that is equal to 1. Therefore, kr. It is the tangential acceleration. Therefore, tangential force acts on the particle is equal to mass into acceleration. That is equal to m into at means kr. It is the tangential force. Therefore, power consumed by tangential force. Power consumed due to tangential power consumed due to tangential force. P is equal to tangential force into velocity of the particle. F into V is the tangential power now. So Ft means mass into acceleration along tangential direction into V. That is equal to m into at means. What about at? Tangential acceleration at is equal to kr now. So k into r into V. So you write B. M into tangential acceleration is equal to, okay, M is equal to MKR into V means V is equal to here. V is equal to KRT, V is equal to KRT here. This is equation 3. So V is equal to KRT, you write. Therefore, P is equal to M K squared R squared T. This is the power consumed. It is the power consumed by the particle whenever the particle travel along the circular path. Okay, what Siddharth? What Siddharth? What Siddharth? BRS Siddharth. What is your doubt? BRS Siddharth, what is your doubt? Okay, right. What is the area under power time graph? 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 Suppose we are given power time graph is like this. We are given power time graph is like this. What is the area under power time graph? Area under power time graph means this is only shade part, no. So here exactly at this point pressure is say P naught. Area under power time graph. Area under PT graph. The time is T naught. Area under PT graph. P hyphen T. P is the power. Area under PT graph gives what? Tell me. Area under PT graph gives what? In general, you say, okay. Area under PT graph means P into T, no? Area under YX graph is Y into X. So area under PT graph means P into T. P into T means already we know, since power is equal to work by time, implies work is equal to power into time, no? That's why this is equal to work done. So therefore this is equal to work W. So sometimes you will be given power time graph. What is the total work done? Up to 10 seconds, up to 20 seconds, like that they may ask. Up to what time they ask the work done? Up to that time, you find the area under power time graph. That gives the amount of work done. That gives the amount of work done. Okay, now they may ask, what is the you see, at any instant here for this straight line, we can write the equation for this straight line. No? What is the equation for this straight line? What is the equation for this straight line? As it is passing through origin, definitely it is just like y is equal to mx. Y means power is equal to slope. Slope is equal to tan theta. Tan theta is equal to opposite side means that is P naught, adjacent means T naught. So P naught by T naught into x means time t. This is the straight line equation. This is the straight line equation. Straight line equation. Here this can be written as dw by dt, no? It can be written as dw by dt. dw by dt. dw is equal to this into dt. Then what is the work done? Suppose if the power varies with time, not along the straight line directly. Suppose the power along the power varies with time according to the equation like this. What is the total work done? They may ask. What is the total work done? They may ask. So in a small interval of time t, in a small interval of time dt, in a small interval of time dt, due to this power, work done dw is equal to power into dt, no? Therefore, what is the total work done? Total work done is equal to integral dw, that is equal to integral p into dt.
So in what time they asked the work done. So in between T1 to T2 seconds, if they ask, then between T1 to T2 you do integration. That gives the work done. Power means T0 by T0 into T we have to write here. T0 by T0 into T we have to write. Okay. Here from 0 to T seconds, what is the power? What is the work done means area under the graph. Area under the graph means half into base T0 into height P0. That means half P0 T0 by half P0 T0. That is the answer. Even you do integration between 0 to T0 here from this, you will get same answer. If, of course, as the power varies with time linearly, that's why we got this equation. Suppose if you are given power varies with time according to the equation, power varies. Suppose the power varies with time according to the equation A plus BT. Like this it is given. Then work done, total work done is equal to integral dW. That is equal to integral P into dt. So T1 to T2. So P means A plus BT into dt. So integrate them, you will get answer. In this way, by integration method also we can do the amount of work done. Amount of work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, no? At a time T1 seconds if the velocity is u, at a time T2 seconds if the velocity is v, then this work done is equal to change in kinetic energy according to work energy theorem. We can write like this also. Sometimes the particle of mass m initially starts motion with a velocity u. Because of power acts on a particle which varies with time according to the equation here, then what is the velocity of the particle after a time t is equal to something? They may ask. In such case, by using this formula, you find the work done and make them equal to change in kinetic energy. Then V you calculate. That gives the velocity of the particle. In this way, we can do the velocity of the particle. Okay. So now we have to do some problems. Okay, theory part is over. Problems we have to do now. You see. All of you see the first problem in exercise 6. In exercise 6, all of you see the first problem. Okay, page number 275. First, we have to do the power related problems. Exercise, lecture sheet, exercise 6, level 1, page number 275, problem number 1. A machine gun fires 360 bullets per minute. Each bullet moves with a velocity of 600 meters per second. If the power of the gun is 5.4 kilowatt, the mass of each bullet is dash. It was previously asked with number of bullets fired is equal to 360 bullets per minute, means T is equal to 60 seconds. Okay, each bullet moves with a velocity V is equal to 600 meters per second given. Power of the machine gun is equal to 5.4 kilowatt. Kilo means 10 to the power 3 watts. Then what is the mass of each bullet? Mass of each bullet. That is how much? Mass of each bullet is how much? Okay. So power of the machine gun is equal to total work done by machine gun in firing n bullets with a velocity v. The work done, the general formula is work by time. The work done in firing each bullet with a velocity v is half m into v square. If n bullets are fired in a time t seconds, then total work done is equal to n into half m v square by t. This is the formula. So t means 5.4 into 10 to the power 3. While substituting the data, you check the units of all the physical quantities.
If all are not in the same system, you convert them and then you substitute. All you do in SI system, that is equal to n number of bullets 360 by time means 60 seconds. Time must be in seconds. Half mass of bullet we have find into V means 600. Square is there. So from this, if you find the mass of the each bullet, then you will get 5 into 10 to the power minus 3. After simplification, you will get 5 into 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram. But answer is given in gram. 1 kilogram is equal to 10 to the power 3 grams now. So 10 into 10 to the power 3, right? Then you will get 5 grams. This is the answer. In this way, we have to do. Of course, it is the sixth problem. Sorry, it is the sixth problem. It is sixth problem. Okay, first problem. It is the sixth problem. Next, first problem. It is also previously asked problem. A motor of power. Okay, all of you see the first problem. Okay, all of you see first problem. All of you see first problem. A motor of power P0 is used to deliver water at a certain rate to a given horizontal pipe. To increase the rate of flow of the water through the same pipe n times. Rate of flow of the water means say you say that is the speed. Okay, initially the speed of water is say V, and power of the motor is P1 is equal to P0 given. To increase the rate of flow of the water through the pipe n times, that means rate of flow of the water. We can take volume rate of flow or velocity. We can take both. V2 is equal to n times V. Then what is the power of the motor? That is the question they asked. Okay. So in both the cases, what is the ratio between the powers they asked? In second case, the power becomes n times. Sorry, the rate of flow of water becomes n times. Then what is the power? Generally, power of the motor required to eject the water with a velocity v is how much? First of all, whenever the water of density rho or any liquid of density rho comes out through the pipe with a velocity v, what is the force needed to hold the pipe? What is the force needed to hold the pipe? Tell me. ఒక హోస్ పైప్ నుంచి వాటర్ v స్పీడ్ తో బయటకు వస్తుందండి. v స్పీడ్ తో బయటకు వస్తుంది. What is the force exerted on the water to come out with a speed v? Rho into area of cross section of the pipe A into v square. It is the force needed to eject the water with a velocity by the motor. This is action. At the same time, because of reaction of the water on the pipe, the pipe move back. So it is the force with which water comes out through the pipe. Okay. So this is the force. Here they asked the power. Power is equal to force into velocity. No? Force means rho a v square into velocity v. Therefore, power needed is equal to rho a into v. If the rate of flow of water changes, remaining all parameters does not change. Density of the water, area of cross section of the pipe, that does not change. That's why power needed is directly proportional to rate of flow of water. Therefore, there are two cases. P1 by P2 is equal to V1 by V2 whole cube. Initially, the rate at which water comes out through the pipe is say V. In next case, it is NV whole cube. That is equal to 1 by n cube. No, 1 by n cube. Here they asked the final power needed to initial power. They asked. Of course, this P1 is given as the P0 and P2 is given as the P dash. P2 is given as P1. It is given as P1. It is given as P0. So P1 means P0 by P1. That is equal to 1 by n cube. Here they asked P1 by P0. That is equal to n cube. They asked the ratio. P1 is to P0 is equal to n cube is to 1. This is the answer. N cube is to 1. Already second problem is over. In this second problem already I said. Okay, third problem. All of you see the third problem. All of you see the third problem.
Third problem, a bus of mass 6 metric ton. Mass of the bus 6 metric ton. How to read that problem? A bus of mass 6 metric ton is pulled at a speed of 18 km per hour. Speed is equal to 18 km/h. That means into 5 by 18 meter per second. So 5 meter per second. On a smooth incline of inclination, theta, sin theta is given as 1 by 20. Then power of the engine. Power P is equal to question mark. It is also important one. Simple but important. Okay, now I think you have seen the problem. All of you look at the board now. All of you look at the board. Here, the mass of the bus is m. It is moving with constant speed upwards along the incline on smooth surface with a speed v. It is moving upwards with a constant speed v in upward direction. What is the power of the motor used there? Power of the motor. Actually, here you see, whenever the vehicle moving in this direction, the motor exerts the force on the vehicle in upward direction along the inclined plane. That is say F. At the same time, the weight component along the incline acts vertically downwards direction. Weight component of the bus acts on the vehicle along the inclined plane downwards. When by means of an engine, when a force equivalent to this mg sin theta is applied on the bus in forward direction along the incline upwards, then only it can move with constant speed. Constant speed to bus పైకి ట్రావెల్ చేయాలంటే v స్పీడ్ తోటి బస్ అప్లై చేసే ఫోర్స్ ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో బస్ అప్లై చేసే ఫోర్స్ వెయిట్ కాంపోనెంట్ ఈక్వల్ ఉండాలి. అప్పుడు నెట్ ఫోర్స్ 0 అవుతుంది కాబట్టి బస్ కెన్ ట్రావెల్ విత్ కాన్స్టెంట్ స్పీడ్. ఓకే, అయితే బస్ ఇంజిన్ అప్లై చేయాల్సిన ఫోర్స్ ఆల్రెడీ mg sin theta కి ఈక్వల్. వాట్ ఇస్ ద పవర్ రిక్వైర్డ్? పవర్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఫోర్స్ ఇంటూ కాన్స్టెంట్ వెలాసిటీ మూవ్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి v నే కదా. వేరియబుల్ వెలాసిటీ అయితే f ఇంటూ v రాయకూడదు. కాన్స్టెంట్ వెలాసిటీ కాబట్టి f ఇంటూ v. దట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ టు f మీన్స్ mg sin theta into v. Now we substitute the data. The mass of the bus is 6 metric ton. 1 metric ton or 1 ton, both are same. That is equal to 1000 kg. మరి 6 metric ton కాబట్టి 6 into 1000 kg రాసుకోవచ్చు కదా. స్పీడ్ మీటర్ పర్ సెకండ్స్ లో ఉండాలి. 18 km per hour లో ఇచ్చాడు. 18 into 5 by 18 మీటర్ పర్ సెకండ్ అంటే 5. Therefore m అంటే అక్కడ వచ్చింది కదా 6 into 10 to the 3 రాసేయండి. g అంటే 10 into sin theta అంటే the inclination is 1 in 20. Suppose instead of giving the inclination as 30 degrees like that, if inclination is given 1 in 30, the inclination of the inclined plane is 1 in 20 means sin theta is equal to 1 in 20. That is the meaning of 1 in 20. 1 in 20 means sin theta is equal to 1 by 20. 1 in 20 means in order to travel a 1 meter distance along the incline upwards, it has to travel a height of 20 meter. 1 meter length పైకి ట్రావెల్ చేయాలంటే 1 meter length పైకి ట్రావెల్ చేయాలంటే 1 meter height పైకి ట్రావెల్ చేయాలంటే 20 meter length 20 meter distance ట్రావెల్ చేయాలి inclined plane మీద. That is the meaning of 1 in 20. 1 in 20 means in order to travel 1 meter height on the inclined plane, the vehicle has to travel 20 meter distance along the inclined plane. That is 1 in 20. That is the meaning of 1 in 20. So ఇక్కడ 1 meter height పైకి రేస్ కావాలంటే ఇటువైపు 20 meter distance ట్రావెల్ చేయాలి. కాబట్టి sin theta is equal to 1 by 20 only, no? So 1 in 20 means sin theta is 1 by 20. Sin theta means 1 by 20, you write, into speed of 5. Okay, 10 2s are 2 3s are. Therefore power is equal to 3 into 5, 15 into 10 to the 3 watt. But power is given in kilowatt. Answer is given in kilowatt. 15 into 10 to the 3 means we can write kilo, no? Kilowatt means capital W. So 15 kilowatt. That is the answer. 15 kilowatt is the answer. Okay, next. You see the fourth problem. I think if fourth problem we can do. No, fourth problem I will explain. Fourth problem I will explain. Fourth problem, all of you read that fourth problem. A pump 200 watt power is used to lift 2 kilogram of water per second from a fourth problem. From an average depth of 10 meter, the velocity with which water comes out of the pump. Okay. Here, the power of the motor used here is 200 watts. It is used to lift 2 kilogram per second mass from average depth of 10 meter. Average depth of 10 meter. The mass lifted is m by t is given. Average mass lifted per second is equal to 2 kilogram per second. That is given. The velocity with which the water comes out of pump. So the velocity with which the water comes out. G is equal to 9.8 meter per second square is given. This is the problem. Okay, now you see power of the motor is equal to here all of you look at the board now. All of you look at the board. Here the water is lifted from a depth h. That means the water is lifted up to a height h now. So work to be done to lift the water up to a height h is equal to mgh. And whenever water is lifted up to a height mgh, with what velocity the water ejects out. That means it has to acquire some velocity. To acquire some velocity, extra work to be done is equal to half mv square now. So in order to lift the water, this amount of work is done. In order to eject the water with a velocity, this is the amount of work done. That is equal to kinetic energy gained. Okay, this is the total work done. Work to be done. This by time taken t. So here P is equal to mass of the water lifted per second, that is given. M by T value directly given. That's why in this M you take common by T. M by T you write, you keep aside. Remaining GH plus V square by 2. Therefore you substitute the data. 200, all are in the same system only, SI system only. Now you substitute. M by T is given directly 2 kilogram per second into G 9.8, H 10 plus V square by 2. So from this, if you calculate V value, then you will get answer that V is equal to 2 meter per second. You will get 2 meter per second. You will get answer is 2 meter per second. Directly you will get V square is equal to 4. You will get, so V is equal to 2 meter per second. In this way you will get. Yeah, 2 meter per second. Next. Next problem you see. A man carries a load of 50 kg to a height of 40 meter in 2 seconds. Power of the man is 1568. The mass of the man is dash. Very, very important problem. A man carries a load of 50 kg. Fifth problem. A man carries a load of 50 kg to a height of 40 meter. To a height of 40 meter in 25 seconds. So T is equal to 25 seconds. If the power of the man is equal to 1568 watts,
the mass of the man, mass of man capital M, that is equal to question mark. Already I said the concept. You see, in order to lift the mass 50 kg or 50 kg mass bag by the man of mass capital M, power utilized is power of the man. If power of the man is this one, so power is equal to work by time. Now, work means in order to lift this mass, in order to lift this mass, he has to lift his mass also. That's why total work to be done is equal to M plus M into, this is the total mass lifted to a height h. That's why work done is equal to G into H by time taken T. That's all. Power means 1568. That is equal to capital M plus small m means all are in SH only. Directly we can substitute. Suppose if you write 9.8, we can cancel easily this one. Okay, that's why you write 9.8 into H 40 by time 25. From this you calculate capital M, mass of the man. Then you will get, after simplification, you will get mass of the man is also equal to 50 kg. Yeah, 50 kg. Mass of the man is also 50 kg. Sixth problem already I taught. Okay, now sixth problem I taught. Next, seventh problem you do. Eighth problem I will explain now. Eighth problem. One HP motor pumps out. Okay, all of you see eighth problem. All of you see that eighth problem. All of you see the eighth problem. One HP motor pumps out water from a well of depth 20 meters and fills the water tank of volume 2238 liters at a height of 10 meters. So water is lifted. If power of the motor P is equal to 1 horsepower, 1 horsepower means 746 watts. Okay, from a well of depth, H1 is equal to 20 meters, fills the water tank at a height of 10 meters. Volume of the water tank, volume of tank capital V is equal to 2238 liters. The running rate of the motor to fill the empty tank is, that means the running time they asked. Time is called question mark. Okay. All of you see the diagram. All of you see the board now. You see? Yeah, it is 15 minutes now. Okay. Here, power of the motor is equal to general formula work by time. You see, what is lifted from a depth H1 up to a height H2, because tank is at a height H2. That's why total work done to lift the water up to this height is equal to mc, mass of water lifted, into Z into height, total height lifted H1 plus H2 by time taken. But what is the mass of the water lifted is not given. But the water is lifted to fill a tank. Volume of the tank is capital V given. That means if the volume of the tank is capital V, then that amount of volume of the water is taken in the tank. No? That means indirectly volume of the water taken in the tank is given. So when you know the volume of the tank, then volume of the water filled in the tank is equal to V into density of the water. So that gives the mass of the water lifted into Z into H1 plus H2 by T, that is equal to P. Since mass is equal to volume into density. Okay, now okay, power P is equal to, while substituting the data, volume of the water is equal to this much liter, but it must be in SI system 2238 into 1 liter is equal to 10 power of minus 3 meter cube. Since 1 liter is equal to 10 power of minus 3 meter cube. Therefore, volume of the water liquid here is equal to 2238 into 10 power of minus 3 meter cube into density of water 10 power of 3. Density of water is equal to 10 power of 3 kilogram per meter cube. So density of the water is equal to 1000 kilogram per meter cube or 1 gram per cc. Already you know 1 gram per cc, but in SI system it is 1000 kilogram per meter. Sorry, 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So into 1000 into G you take 10 into H1 plus H2 20 plus 10 whole by time taken T. Of course, here power is given now. We have substituted the power here. Power is equal to 746 watt because 1 HP motor now by time taken T. Then what about the time taken? T you calculate, I think 746 sometimes it will be cancelled directly. If you simplify them, then you will get 15 into 60 seconds you will get. So here answer is given in minutes. So 15 minutes you will get now because 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So this is the answer. In this way we have to do. Okay, now in this remaining problems you do. Okay, today you do, and today in home study hour you do remaining problems. I will do some more problems in things. Exercise 8. Yeah, 15 minutes is the answer. Minutes is last 20 minutes. Last 20 minutes. Exercise 8. Okay, you see, exercise 8. You read the first problem. Exercise 8. Okay. Lecture sheet exercise 8, level 1, page number 280. Page number 280. Okay, problem number 1. Problem number 1. Okay, all of you see. A spring force constant K is stretched by a small length x. The work in stretching it further by a small length y is dash. Here, all of you see the board. In order to stretch the wire to a length x, in order to stretch the spring to a length x, what is the energy stored in the spring?
In order to stretch the string by a length x, what is the amount of work to be done? Half kx square. That is stored in the spring as the energy, no? That's why here the work done in stretch the spring by a length equal to x is half kx square. Work done in stretching it further by a small length y is dash. Work to stretch x W1 is equal to half k into x square. But work done to stretch the length further by y, that is work done to stretch the length further by y is not there. From the beginning, to stretch the wire to a length, here this is the string. To stretch to a length x, the work done is W. To stretch further to a length y, what is the work done? They asked. That work done is not, work done is W say. But we are not having work done to stretch further by a length y. Work done to stretch a length x plus y. From the beginning, from unstretched condition to stretch the string to a length x, the work done is equal to this one. So from unstretched condition to stretch the wire to a length x, we are having formula. Okay. Here, what is the work done to stretch the string further a length y is how much? That formula is not there directly. From the beginning, to stretch the wire through a length equal to x plus y, the work done is a W. So from this work done to stretch the wire from a length x plus y, you subtract the work done to stretch the length by x. Then you get the work done to stretch the wire by length further by y now. That's why work done to stretch the wire through a length y is equal to work done to stretch the wire through a length x plus y. From that, work done to stretch the wire through x, you subtract. Work done to stretch the wire through a length x plus y is equal to half k into x plus y whole square minus work done to stretch the wire through a length x, that is half kx square. You subtract. That gives the work done to stretch the wire further y, that is equal to half k into expand a plus b whole square, x square plus y square plus 2xy minus half kx square. Here plus half kx square minus half kx square cancel now. So remaining k by 2 into y you take common. In these two terms we can take y common now. Y you take common, y plus 2x. So this is the work to be done to stretch the wire further by y. In this way we have to do. Okay, next second problem. Time is not over now. $35, 15 minutes more. Okay, next you see the second problem. Third problem already completed in the class only. Second problem you see. All of you read the second problem. In an ideal fully particle system, the mass m2 is connected with vertical spring of spring constant k. m2 greater than m1. Mass m2 greater than m1 is given. It is released from rest. Initially, it is at rest. Of course, it is also initially at rest. When the spring is undeformed, find the maximum compression of the spring. Find the maximum compression of the spring. Okay. All of you see here. All of you look at the board. It is important problem. You see here. Initially, the two blocks are joined, connected to the two ends of the string, and the string is passed over the light frictionless pulley, and at the lower surface of the block M2, mass M2, one spring is connected like this. Whenever the blocks are like this, it is in unstretched condition. It is in unstretched condition. M2 is greater than M1. When blocks are released suddenly, because they asked the maximum compression, no? They asked maximum deformation. Find the maximum compression. Okay, maximum compression they asked. Whenever the blocks are suddenly released, as this mass is greater than this one, this mass comes down, this mass rises up. Because the weight M2z acts downwards direction, M1z acts downwards direction. As
M2Z greater than M1Z, then net force acts on the block system in downwards direction. Due to that, the block starts displacing downwards. Whenever the block starts displacing downwards, the spring is start compressing. When spring starts compression, then spring force acts on the block in upward direction. Because of compression, spring force acts on the block upwards. Even then, initially, as this weight is, the net weight acts on the block in downwards direction greater than the spring force, the block accelerates in downwards direction and at certain position. Whenever the net force acts on the block in downwards direction and spring force both are equal, at that time velocity becomes maximum. And net force is zero on the block. At that time, because of inertia of motion, as the block acquires maximum velocity, it continues to move in downwards direction. Whenever it continues to move in the downwards direction, further it displaces, and whenever the block comes to certain position, the velocity becomes still again zero. Whenever the block comes to rest, the displacement of the block downwards here is say y. The displacement of the block definitely upwards is also y. ఈ బ్లాక్ కిందకి y distance కిందకి వచ్చిందంటే ఇది y distance పైకి వెళ్తుంది. ఇది y distance కిందకి వచ్చిందంటే the spring compression by y length no. So initial velocity of the system is zero, final velocity of the system is zero. So initial kinetic energy is zero, final kinetic energy is zero. So according to work energy theorem, you see, whenever the block comes down here on the system, what is the work done? On the two blocks, what is the work done? No doubt, work done by gravity is there. Work done by spring is also there, because whenever the block comes down, spring exerts the force in opposite direction. That's why work done by the spring on the block is negative. Okay, work done by spring is also there. No other forces are there. That's why this is the net work done. The net work done is equal to change in kinetic energy, delta K. But initial velocity of the system is zero. Final velocity of the system is zero. That's why change in kinetic energy is zero. What is the work done by gravity? You see, as this block comes to rest at this position momentarily, this block comes down to a distance y. That's why work is done by the gravity on this block is positive. That's why plus m2z into y. Next, at the same time, on this block, as the block moves upwards with through a displacement y, against the gravity it moves. That's why work done by gravity on this block is negative. So minus m1z into same displacement y plus spring force, work done by the spring. You see, whenever the block comes down to a distance x, as the compression of spring is y, the force exerted by spring on the block is in opposite direction. That's why work done by the spring force is negative. So minus, as the spring is compressed by y, the work done by the spring force is equal to half ky square, but it is negative. So minus. This is equal to 0. Now here they ask what is the y value, they ask, I think. Maximum compression they ask. Y is equal to question mark. Y is equal to question mark. Maximum compression is equal to question mark. So here you write this all, you keep these terms here only, you write this term to right. Then in these two terms you take y common, yz common, m2 minus m1 is equal to half k into y square. Here y square cancel. Therefore y is equal to 2z into m2 minus m1 by k, no? 2z into m2 minus m1 by k. Yeah, 2z into m2 minus m1 by k. Okay, that is the answer. Next, I think the third problem I said in the concepts only. I said the third problem in the concepts only. Okay. Is the video is clear to you or not? Is video is clear to you or not? If people respond. Okay, okay, right. Okay. Last few minutes. Okay, 12:42. Okay. Right. Some of 5-6 problems are there. If possible, I will send the solutions to you so that you see these problems today in study hour. Okay.
Right, Nana, have a nice day. Have a nice day. I'm signing out. Extra class, so if possible I will take. Right, I'm signing out.